People say there are no kings in the USA, America, but the 1% might as well be. You know, the ones that have the most money from being big business companies, the celebrities, and even the President of the United States. Now, the reason I say this is because a king has authority over other people. That's the most generic version of it. There's a whole lot of like rules and regulations and things like that go beyond it, but hear me out, okay? With the money, the clout that big companies have, with the um, societal societal hierarchy that celebrities have, each one in their own way controls what happens in the United States, including the President of the United States. Now, the President of the United States, no matter who he is or she is, if that happens, of course, by then it would be a queen, and essentially a monarchy. But what I'm getting at is the President of the United States controls our military, our militia, controls when wars happen. See, kings in the olden times and kings now chose when to go to war. And there was a time of war. There was a time for war back in the olden times, including in biblical times. Okay? This is whenever they originally were said to get provisions for the land. This was the usual way of doing so. They would take from others. Now, we all know that there are many different people that take from others, even on the most lowest of ends. But what I'm talking about is the big things, water, soil, land, air, and the ability to use them in the proper way, in the correct way, and being taxed for it, aka money. Kings and queens use money like how many use other kind of riches. In the old times it was gold, it was silver. Now it is paper, but each paper is backed by gold and silver. Now if there's way too much debt in a company, in a business, in a society, then there isn't enough gold to back the paper. But the commoners, the regular people, do not know this, or even if they do know this, can't do anything about it. The rules and regulations are controlled by the king. Now, big companies, in their own way, are kingdoms, because you have hierarchies within these companies. You have the regular worker, you have the shift manager, you have the trainers, you have the managers, the CEOs, and so forth, all the way up to the actual owner. Now, the owner would actually be the king or queen of that company. Yes, like there's other ones underneath of them, like generals and things like that, like general manager, essentially. Hear how it's connecting? Now, as far as society goes, the way that celebrities own, no matter if they're in the music industry or any other kind of, like the fashion industry, they, in their own way, own the companies that are part of that. Because the fashion industry and the music industry look towards the musicians and the fashionistas, the celebrities, to guard, to say what way things go in society in that area. See, there, in a way, there are many kings and queens in the United States if you look at it like this. Okay, just like how the owner is the king or queen of the company, so is the musicians and the fashion fashionistas or fashionistas, owners of the fashion and music industry. Okay. Now, musicians themselves, depending on if they are by themselves or if they are owned by a specific type of music industry itself, depends more on who is the king and who's the queen, but I digress. What I'm saying is, essentially, there are hidden queens and hidden kings in the United States, if you look at it like that. So basically, if you look at it throughout the years, fashion has changed because of the different eras in which we were in, going from the Victorian era all the way up to modern age. Same thing goes for who the king is and who the queen is, depending on if it was in the 1800s all the way up to 2000s. From King Harold all the way up to President Donald Trump. Okay? So, if you look at it like that, then you look at the symbology of each continent, each kingdom, if you will. You have the eagle for the USA. You have the three-headed dragon for Europe. All these different symbols are also kind of found in the Bible itself, no matter which Bible you look at, though I do suggest that you use the Yah Scriptures app expressly because it has all the original books as well as the original names. That is why symbology is used within the book of Revelations. That's what it talks about with kingdoms. And each kingdom in their own way is a lady or a lad, a princess or a prince. A kingdom always has a king or a queen, always has royalty within it. It's just in this day and age, especially whenever it comes to the United States of America, you must use a very severe eye, a huge eye of discernment to figure out who exactly is holding the king, the crown, or the many crowns, and who is truly, here's the biggest question. If there's so many kings, so many queens of the United States in this matter, from society, how fashion is done, to the president, to business industries, who actually truly is the number one above all of them controlling the United States? If you're a conspiracy theorist or whatever, if you think this is a conspiracy theory, then so be it. I just wanted to make you think about something. And I would like to hear your thoughts on it.